Welcome back to Run It Back with Max and RJ. Hope you're having a great day. All right, enough of the pleasantries.
Okay,
it's not a happy day.
We're just getting right into it. Yeah.
We're just getting right into it. I mean, we could small talk about the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I had a great time. Did you have a good time?
No, not really. Having to watch that game, no. It was not a good time watching that game. No.
So I was at a Super Bowl party, and I tried to explain to this person who was sitting there, didn't know football very well. And she was criticizing the game, and she was like, oh, it's so boring, I just want to leave. I was like, no one's making you stay here. You can go. I was like, every fight is like a little chess match. And she's like, well, I wouldn't watch chess. I was like, well, I'm not asking you to watch football. I was like, it's a whole thing.
A bad chess match, if I could say. Look, it's not that I thought the football. I love the whole strategy behind everything, but and you know the defensive battle, whatnot. But
we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
But yeah,
we're getting
but
way
this
ahead
was.
of ourselves. We're going to talk Super Bowl later in the show. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Pop's future. If we think it's gonna be in San Antonio, we're gonna tease what's next for football, not the NFL. Commanders coming to town, first game this weekend, very exciting. Hopefully we get to talk to them either tomorrow or Thursday.
Oh, okay,
Ooh,
interesting.
Teasing ahead of day.
Nice,
What we like to call in the biz a tease.
Yes, all right.
But anyway, so last night, not good for Spurs Nations. Kicking off the Rodeo Road Trip, and it didn't start off hot. That was supposed to be the win.
That was going to be hopefully one of the 2-3 wins that you could pencil in this Rodeo Road Trip. Started off with a big thud. The Spurs, look, the Derek White news is pretty significant. I mean, what Derek White has done over the month of January
for those who don't
is pretty.
Know he's playing.
Yeah, so Derek is out for the next couple of weeks with a plantar fasciitis, so he's got an inflamed tissue. I had to look this up because I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Well, that's what Peyton went through for a while.
Right,
it's one of those things, even if it goes away, it just kind of lingers.
Oh yeah, and it is manageable, but it is very painful for someone to play with, especially when it is inflamed. So we're not going to see Derek for the next couple of weeks, probably till after the All-Star break. Spurs, obviously, without Derek White, he's their best perimeter defender, struggled to defend the Kings last night. We saw it in the final score. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield. The Kings are a good team, though. I mean, they're not your grandpa's team, Kings.
No, grandpa's team was a lot better than our younger generation's team. The last couple years, they've been in the mix with the Suns and the Magic. And the Knicks are the worst franchise in the NBA. They're competitive now, so when you hear the Kings, they're not just a laughingstock.
No, anymore. Absolutely not. They have a great mix of young talent. That all being said, Spurs are going to have to figure this out because, again, no Derek White. They're just going to have to defend, hunker down on defense, try and do their best to try and contain. But we're looking at the next few games here, and that's going to be tough sledding no matter what way you look at it. I think for the Spurs, they built up a nice cushion as far as in the standings, but I definitely think you're going to see them drop a little bit when this Rodeo Road Trip is all said and done.
Well, they're what, 9 games above 500?
9 games above 500, but, you know, looking at the standings, we were talking about this a little bit before off camera. I mean, everything is so bunched up in the West right now. You know, the Kings are 3 games back now, the Spurs, as of this recording. The Lakers are 4 games back, trying to get on that 8.
Well, that's the scary part. LeBron's not even in the playoffs yet.
Right. So you figure they're gonna make their way.
You figure everything is gonna get mixed around. I see the Clippers or the Jazz falling out.
I hope.
And the Lakers.
I mean, it's not the Spurs.
That's the thing, though. I mean, the Spurs have played well enough against good teams. And obviously losing to the Kings is not ideal, especially a young Kings team.
You're right.
But it's also one of those things where that's the biggest problem we've seen all year is defense. I mean, this was one of the first games in a while we saw DeMar and LaMarcus both contribute on offense. I mean, DeMar's been a little bit of a slump since he went through that injury. Now you're seeing him and LaMarcus actually get into the 20s. I mean, we're seeing bench production. The problem is you're not having great defense on the starting lineup, and then the bench defense was horrific. I made a comment to Adrian. I said, Patty Mills couldn't guard me. I mean, it's just one of those things.
I'll ask Patty next time.
Well, think about it. Bellinelli, I mean, I watched a lot of him last year because of the Sixers. He hasn't played defense since, what, 2007?
No, that's not his strong suit.
No, and Patty Mills, it's the same thing.
And
that's one of the problems for the bench. Yes, these guys on the starting lineup, they have to take a break at some point in the game. I mean, these aren't the playoffs.
Again, the Spurs all season have had problems on the defensive end. It's just going to be that way. They're going to have to outscore some of these teams. And when you see the gauntlet coming up, I think that's going to be kind of a difficult thing to do. But if there is a team maybe having a bad night, an off night, then maybe the Spurs can capitalize on it. We've seen it at home. I mean, at home, the Spurs have been better on defense, but, you know, when you're on the road and you're dealing with, you know, just issues with the road, and then now you're dealing with a young Kings team coming in here and really a Golden State team that's on fire right now. So,
well, I mean, it's a Golden State team. Yeah. I did make the hot prediction. By the way, I'm pretty sure you owe me a breakfast taco.
Ooh,
because of the Tony Romo predictions.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I won. Didn't I win one, which was Adam Levine will not wear a hat? I thought, or
we didn't officially bet on that one. We just had fun with the We actually bet on the Tony Romo one.
Oh, we did, which was
the over/under 7.5 predicted wins.
Yeah, but I mean, shouldn't I get a mulligan on that one? I mean, that game was terrible.
It doesn't matter. You get mulligans for bets.
How is he predicted? How is Tony Romo supposed to predict?
That's like going up to Vegas and be like, "Can I just have my money back?"
How is he supposed to predict punts? Hey, on this punt, it'll go. Yeah, no, okay, sure,
all right,
whatever.
So coming back to the Spurs, actually, shout out if anyone knows any good breakfast taco place. We're looking for a sponsor. So there you go.
Okay, wow.
You know, if we could get someplace like Pete's sponsor us, we'll breakfast tacos every day. I say we do like a breakfast bet at the end of every podcast.
Oh, okay, I could do that.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
All right. Good. So anyway, I'm looking at the numbers from last night. Just deep diving right now. I mean, coming up in the game, I love Davis in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
But
well,
again,
that's usually their
defense,
kind of their go-to. Yeah.
Defense is going to be a big issue.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're playing the Warriors, who really do you see needs to step up? Obviously, other than the two obvious.
Everybody. I mean, look, if you're playing the Warriors, you just got to hope that either one of those big three is just having an off game, Clay, Steph, or KD. I mean, we mentioned they have DeMarcus Cousins now. You know, we're going to get to see the Warriors.
Been playing. It's not just, you know, like last year in the beginning when Rudy Gay came back, ruptured Achilles, kind of the same injury.
Right.
You know, he started off slow. DeMarcus is playing efficient, he's playing smart, and he's taking the shots that are given to him.
Yeah.
He's not forcing anything. He's not really being too aggressive. And that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. I think early on in the season when the Spurs played the Warriors, they beat them here at the AT&T Center. Klay Thompson was not on his game. They, of course, Stephen Curry did not play in that game. No DeMarcus Cousins. KD and Klay were basically the offense for the Warriors at the time. So this will be an interesting task for the Spurs.
Andrew, what time are we at right now? I just got to make sure. Mario
just started our
Mario likes
right
to
now.
make sure.
Wow,
We're at
okay.
8 minutes. All right, good.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
So we're cruising right now.
All
right.
good.
Any bold predictions about this rodeo road trip?
Bold predictions?
Bold predictions.
Man, if the Spurs can win 4 of these games, 4 of these last 7 games, then I think they will be in great shape for the final playoff push.
So let's break it down. Okay.
I think
Nets.
Again,
well, that's easy. I think 4 is easy. 4 is very manageable. You got Nets, Knicks. So Knicks and Grizzlies are auto wins.
Must wins.
No, they're auto wins. You're not going to lose to the Knicks.
Okay.
The Knicks have
they
more
lost to the
like
Grizzlies already on the road.
Yeah, you're not going to lose to the Grizzlies now, who are about to start tanking. They're probably going to trade Marc Gasol and Mike Conley.
Sure.
In the
Hopefully
coming
they
week.
do. Just G League.
to
right
send
there.
them out. You're not going to lose to the Knicks, who pretty much, I mean, their season's already a wash. They're looking for the top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Bye, Andrew. So if you can win one at the Jazz or the Blazers or the Raptors, I mean, it's very doable.
Yeah,
Also, I'm saying the Nets is going to be a win.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, the Spurs just played the Nets here. Tough game that the Spurs had to overcome.
The Nets are good.
But
I'm saying they're going to win this one.
The Nets are better this year. The Spurs had to come from behind to win that game. Okay, I mean, the Brooklyn game.
Also, shout out Jared Allen. UT guy. UT alum, not grad.
A guy who went to UT for
I like
a year.
him. I think he's athletic. He likes to block people.
He's
one of the few people in the NBA that is not afraid to get posted.
Yeah, he'll go up with you.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's commendable.
Did
because
he
you know
block
what?
LeBron?
Yeah, he did.
Last year?
Yeah, he did.
This year?
This year.
Okay.
Because he's one of, you know what, in the NBA, it's so frowned upon to get dunked on.
Right.
Where it's like, you know what, he went up there and played defense.
Yeah.
Not that many people do that.
I'm with you. Not many guys do it. Going back to the Spurs, yes, Memphis, New York. You don't play defense?
No. Like when I go play, so I LeBron foul people. Here's my tactic. Like when I'm at exactly. Yeah. Like nope, you're not dunking on me. Yeah. I'm not getting dunked on in San Antonio.
Yeah,
it's a rule.
Yeah. All right, that'll be interesting to see. So yeah, the Toronto game. It's kind of weird. That game, if DeMar DeRozan is on fire, revenge game.
I want him to
back
drop
home.
60.
If he remember, he said he was going to drop 60 here when they played against the
They gotta
Raptors
win,
here at
though.
home. They got to win. DeMar had a triple-double. I think that is the game right there where DeMar will be fully engaged. Not saying he isn't now, but I think he's been looking forward to that one. That is right after the All-Star break, so everyone's going to be good to go, rested. But again, that was also we saw what Kawhi did when he was back here. So Kawhi's probably going to want to get a little bit exact some revenge. Danny Green had 0 points in that game back here in San Antonio, so I imagine that Danny's also going to be on that next sort of level of one.
So jumping back to the funny thing about getting dunked on. So I was playing with my brothers.
Yeah.
They don't play basketball a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
And we were playing in Connecticut, and we were just a random gym, like kind of like the inner city.
Yeah.
Like it was fun. It was good basketball.
Okay.
And this guy shows up, and like he's clearly like he looks more athletic than everyone else.
Sure.
Like he's probably like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And we're playing, and I'm like, this guy knows how to play basketball. And so we start playing 5-on-5.
Yeah.
And my brother's guarding him. And so he gets a rebound. He starts going down for a fast break.
Yeah.
And my brother, he's fast. He doesn't play basketball, but he's fast.
Okay.
And he gets in front of this guy. And I'm like, I should preface it. My brother's a little taller than me. He's like 6'1".
Okay.
And he gets in front of him. And I'm like, oh, no, Phil, what are you doing? And he tries to stop him. He just gets dunked on. Just demolished. He gets put on a poster.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm
Did you
talking
see
to the
that
guy
like in
after.
slow motion?
Yeah.
Like a slow motion,
I was
like
like
a car crash, like.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
one of those things where you wanted to look away. Thank you. 10 minutes. 10 minutes in or 10 minutes left? Oh, okay.
10 minutes in,
Appreciate you.
Andrew. Appreciate you, Andrew.
So later I found out that he was a starting shooting guard for Yale.
Wow.
He was on that Yale team that went to the tournament.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good team.
Yeah.
I remember them. Didn't they win a game?
They did.
All right. I think they beat Baylor.
They did.
Yeah, that's right. Torian
They
Prince,
out.
San
I think
Antonio
they.
guy.
Yeah, they out rebounded Baylor, and that was
Yeah.
the press conference
Yeah.
where he
Right.
was like,
was Torian
"How do you
Prince.
get out rebounded by?" It was like, "Well, you get the ball."
That was a great Torian Prince moment. San Antonio, Warren grad, right there. Torian Prince. Interesting
There you
stuff.
go.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we kind of teased ahead to this. Someone asked me today, and you know, one of the biggest things for our show is we want to talk to people. So someone asked me
Absolutely,
today.
yeah.
They're like, you know, what do you think Popovich's future is with the Spurs? So
Yeah.
RJ is someone who covers them every day.
Yeah.
What is your take?
Okay. Again, I don't see Pop leaving anytime within the next year or two. If health becomes an issue, then maybe, that might be a different situation. But when you saw Pop rip the team over that last second win over the Suns, I think you saw that he was like, I'm fully into this right now. When you see him call timeouts after 16 seconds because he wants to rip the team apart because of a defensive breakdown, or he calls a timeout on a bad inbounds play, and you got Bryn Forbes, and he's schooling Bryn Forbes and Davis on communication, on being aware of what's going on, playing defense. I think that you're going to see Pop at least stick around for, again, another year or two. He's got the USA basketball stuff coming up. So, Pop's a basketball lifer, man. So, I don't think that he's going to leave anytime soon. But, that is something that we need to kind of think about, in the future, right? I think the Spurs probably have a good, set of coaches, assistant coaches. But it's definitely something we need to think about probably within the next 2 years, maybe.
So if Pop out of nowhere says, you know what, guys?
Yeah.
It's been real. It's been fun. Hasn't been real fun.
Sure. He just turned 70.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Who do you think is next in line?
Yeah, after watching kind of the way these assistant coaches have sort of progressed, if anyone who goes to a Spurs game during timeouts, if you don't want to watch maybe like what's going on the big screen, the HEB giveaway or whatever. Love HEB, by the way, but
yeah, right. Do not offend HEB.
Yes, yeah, I love
Still
HEB.
sponsor,
do a great job there. But if you pay attention to Pop's timeouts, he usually doesn't really talk to the players. He kind of brings out his little huddle, and it's always like a group of 3 assistants. So that's Messina, Ime Udoka, and Becky Hammond. Becky, this is the first year that Becky's been in this circle. So if Pop leaves tomorrow, I'm going to have to say that Messina probably would be the more qualified guy, but I think for the future, Ime Udoka would be a great coach for the Spurs. I don't know about his X's and O's necessarily, but I know that he is the one guy that relates to the players probably the best. And that would be sort of, and he's been under Pop now for several years, so that would
This
be
is something I
probably
just concocted in my mind.
Uh-oh.
The Suns coaching
worried now.
job
Yeah.
doesn't work out because of the guy they brought him from, like, what, Slovenia?
Igor,
Yeah.
something.
He was Luka's coach overseas. Here's what's going to happen.
Right.
Just made this up.
Yeah.
He's going to fail within 2 years because the Suns aren't going to win any games. They're going to bring in R.J.
Yeah.
Barrett in the offseason. They're going to draft him. And Becky Hammon is going to be the first female head coach of an NBA franchise.
I think Becky absolutely deserves to be a head coach down the line. Now, whether I think most people would want it to be in San Antonio. I mean,
But if you're saying she's not next in line,
I'm not saying she's not next in line. I was just saying that I think
we're getting
that
some breaking news.
The next one would be probably Udoka, if anything. So we'll see.
Thank
Breaking
you,
news.
Twitter.
All right.
John Wall, ruptured Achilles tendon, out for approximately a year from today.
Yeah.
So that means not just coming back next season.
Right.
He's out.
Yes.
So
I immediately checked
we're already
the
got
schedule.
53 games in.
Yeah.
When do the Spurs play Wizards next?
They play at Washington on April 5th, the last week of the season. So, yeah.
You know, those wins are going to be the most important.
Oh, absolutely.
What does that run look like?
That's something that we...
Okay, you got Sacramento. Oh, Cleveland? Right. Okay, this looks good down the stretch.
No, this is something I wanted to bring up when we were talking about are we in the Rodeo Road Trip part? Did we already kind of pass that?
We passed it, but we can go back to it.
No, okay, but this is something I wanted to bring up. Spurs fans, don't freak out if this team goes 3-5 in the Rodeo Road Trip. I know we're used to winning these things. Don't freak out because the rest of the schedule
Andrew,
is
you
pretty
ready?
friendly.
15 minutes because you can just say it. Okay.
We got Detroit, Atlanta. We got the Knicks twice. Okay, the Knicks are going to be part of that.
Heat. I see the Heat on there, and they're terrible.
They got at Charlotte. Hopefully, you take our business there.
Bad.
Cleveland, 2 games against Cleveland, 1 against Washington,
Atlanta,
another 1 against Atlanta, and what should be Dirk's final regular season game against the Mavericks.
Maybe
here.
He hasn't come out and said he's retiring yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people keep on kind of.
But they gave him the All-Star nod. So that's
true.
I mean, that's a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
They gave it to D-Wade, and they probably looked in the West and like, you have to give it to someone to equal it out.
Yeah, I mean, Dirk would be the guy. Yeah. So, look, the Spurs got a pretty, not an easy schedule, of course, but at least it's a little bit on the friendlier side down the stretch here. So don't freak out, Spurs fans.
It's going to be tough.
He's
got to weather the storm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're, and we'll pivot back to everything else, but if you were Washington right now, I mean, you're paying Beal, you're paying Wall, and you're paying Otto Porter, who has clearly underperformed.
Right.
You brought in Trevor Ariza to try to turn your season around.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, this season's a wash if you're the Wizards.
Sure, of course.
And you're not going to be a championship contender.
Right.
So what do you do? I mean, you have, 3 days to the trade deadline? 2 days. 2 days and some change.
Yeah.
Which I'm so excited. I'm waiting for more breaking news to start hitting the fan. But I mean, what do you do? Do you start selling?
The Davis bomb. Look, if you're Washington, give it. We'll take. I don't know if Trevor Ariza can be traded twice in one season. I don't know what the rules are with that.
I think you can be because I know that the Knicks are considering trading DeAndre and Wesley Matthews.
Yeah. So we can. Okay, if Trevor Ariza hits the market,
I think
I've been saying that since he was
rule.
with Phoenix. I mean, just Trevor Ariza would be a great guy to land with the Spurs. But as far as the Wizards are concerned, I mean, Bradley Beal probably is the only centerpiece that you got. Probably the time to tear down, build that thing up with Bradley Beal. Yeah,
because he's I think he's only like 24.
Yeah, Beal would be the guy. So
which is weird because I feel like he's been in the same thing with Tobias Harris. He's only 26. I thought he's been in the league for like 30 years already. He's like Yogi. Speaking of this person from last night, he's like Yogi Ferrell, who went 7 of 7 last night and just torched the entire Spurs bench. He was in Indiana for like seemingly 7 years.
He was there for a while.
I was like, how is this man still leading this? And he looked like he was older than everyone else. Anyway, all right. So back here in Texas, the NBA.
Right.
If you watch ESPN recently, they've been teasing the heck out of this one-on-one interview. Well, actually, 2-on-1 interview with Tracy McGrady, Kobe, and Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Shout out Rachel Nichols. I love The Jump. It's my favorite show.
It's a good show.
Other than GMSA.
Of course.
So, but one thing that Kobe said, which I said on our first podcast was, I think Harden can win a back-to-back MVP, but I don't think that he will be the centerpiece for a championship-winning team.
Right,
and
which is what
Kobe went out and said that. So, cool, stealing my ideas, Kobe Bryant. So Kobe came out and said, he probably listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
And that's probably
Hey, here's Mario.
I'm just saying how Kobe Bryant stole my idea.
What did Kobe Bryant
So on the first podcast, I said Harden could win back-to-back MVPs, but he's not going to win a ring doing what he's doing. And he might not be the best player on the team to win a ring. And Kobe came out and said the same thing.
So you think he listened to this podcast?
I think he listened to our podcast and was like, you know what?
Probably. Of
Kobe
course.
Bryant.
He had to have, yes.
Listen,
Run it
what
back.
else is he doing? He's only directing films, raising a family, and
Kobe
the
Bryant,
sponsor.
if you're listening, why don't you fly into San Antonio and be a guest on the podcast?
Yeah.
He did one with Rachel Nichols. I don't see why he wouldn't do one with us.
I love Kobe when this is completely off topic. Kobe's last game here in San Antonio, which they gave him the whole like video tribute and stuff like that. He said the first time that now it's the AT&T Center, but it was the SBC Center, right, Mario, when it opened? He said, he's like, what are we flying into? He's like, is this a dang barn that we're flying into? He's like, I thought we were going to play in a barn, man. It was a pretty cool moment from Kobe Bryant. But
So anyway,
yes,
do
go
you
back to
agree?
Kobe.
Do you agree with Harden's play right now, 20 minutes in? Thank you, Andrew. Do you agree that with Harden?
Oh, phone.
What
Yes.
is you blowing up? Stop doing work while we're working. Do you agree that Harden could win back-to-back MVPs and not win a ring? That him scoring 40-plus points a night, playing the way he's playing, do you think that is conducive to winning a ring?
Conducive to winning a ring? Probably not. But I mean, conducive to winning an MVP? Yeah, definitely.
But at this point,
if you're going to average what is he at, 36 a game or something? I mean, you're talking about the
Over 36.
rarefied air of the Kobe year, the one Kobe year when he
And
averaged
MJ.
37. And you're right, Jordan and Will Chamberlain. I mean, those are your top three all-time per game average scorers.
So here's the thing. I mean, you look at this Rockets roster, there's not much else they can do. But this goes back to my initial argument that I made 2 podcasts ago when I said these players, they want to always say, I just want to win. I just want to win.
Yeah.
Which that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I've always been a person where, and I'll be the first to admit, I was always one of those people where if you take someone off the team, that's how you know they're MVP. If you take Harden off this team, they're not winning this many games.
Yeah. Absolutely. They'd be like a lottery team.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Let's not.
Wait,
maybe in the
without
West.
Chris Paul?
No,
With Chris Paul.
Paul's
With Chris
fine,
Paul,
yeah.
Eric Gordon, and all those guys. Yeah, they're in the mix. I mean, but Harden.
But
takes
Harden
them
is.
to
I mean,
that
he's taking them because
next
what are
level.
they right now? The 5 seed?
They are the 5 seed. Yeah.
So,
they
yeah.
just moved up ahead of San Antonio. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, yes for MVP, but I mean, once they hit the playoffs, because you're not playing playoff basketball. I mean, Harden's gonna get hit. He's gonna get double teamed, triple teamed.
Yeah.
And if you take him out, what do you expect? Austin Rivers to hit threes?
Yeah. I mean, look, the Rockets are.
Austin Rivers is gonna have 40 points for you.
The Rockets are the Rockets. They are when they're hitting threes, and all
Rockets are the
5
Hardens.
guys are when all 5 guys are hitting threes, they're dangerous. They're going to put up a ton of points.
Well, Clint Capella's not hitting threes.
Yeah, you just hope.
PJ Tucker at the
If
5
Clint
might hit
Capella's,
threes.
yeah, if Clint Capella's hitting threes, then we're in real trouble. You just hope that, you just kind of, you just hope that they're off, and you hope that James is just not, hitting his shots as well, because when he starts hitting shots, I mean, and he starts creating for everyone else. So.
We are slowly, actually very fastly moving out of time. So we're fast forwarding to Anthony Davis topic.
Waiting. Yes.
Proud of him, actually, because going back to my initial statement, these players want to say, all I want to do is win, but they don't want to go to, lower market franchises.
Right.
Even if they're winning franchises.
Yeah.
But he did come out and say the Bucks are one of the franchises he would consider signing long-term with. So, Anthony Davis, thank you for listening to the pod.
Of course. Yeah.
And thank you for mentioning the Bucks because they are a real contender. If you
he
throw
subscribes.
Anthony Davis on that team, you have 2 MVP candidates on there.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
That's
an
an
amazing
immediate
team. Yeah.
immediate favorite if they're not already the favorite.
Yeah.
So, the latest with the Lakers, basically trading the whole team other than LeBron in the future for Anthony Davis.
We all knew was going to happen.
I had a lot of people that I've been talking to, including Adrian, who said, why would you do that? You were mortgaging your future. No, you're not. Because the first round picks that you're trading, they're going to be in the high 20s.
Yeah.
And you're not going to pick Kyle Kuzma every time.
Yeah.
So you know what? I would give up Brandon Ingram. I'll give up Lonzo Ball.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll give up Rondo.
Yeah.
Rondo, who was on the Pelicans, got him to the playoffs.
What about Kyle Kuzma?
That would be the one
That's your one? That's the one that you hold back on?
That's the one I would be holding back on but my problem with Kuzma is he's young and old. He's young enough where he doesn't know how to play defense, but he's old in the fact that he was an old rookie.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Luke Walton did a good job of putting him at the 5 to start the season. I thought that was dumb.
Yeah. Poor Luke.
Right. Luke's probably out of a
Luke's
job
out.
by the end of the week
Who's
as well.
that? Okay. Luke Walton.
So here's my thing, though. If I'm the Pelicans, I don't want any of that. I don't want Brandon Ingram. I don't want Lonzo Ball, who actually LeVar Ball came out today and said, we don't. I'm going to speak into existence that I want to get him to the Suns. Which, you know what? That'd be good for the Suns.
Yeah.
I think him and Booker, that's fine. Kelly Oubre actually kind of had a resurgence of his
I'm going
career.
to say, look, if you are the Lakers, I think mortgaging your future, getting rid of all that stuff, you almost have to, because you got LeBron at his peak LeBron-ness right now for what, 2 years, maybe three? I mean, obviously the guy is a machine, shows no real signs of slowing down, even though he was hurt for a significant amount of time this year. But that's your window. That is absolutely your window.
Your
if you're
next
the
3
Lakers.
years.
That's it.
And then,
so trade, mortgage get rid of your future.
Mortgage your future for win
if
now.
you're going to bring Anthony Davis, and then you get freed up maybe to sign another.
And you can sign a bunch of mid-level or younger guys.
Yeah, it's like the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors have this this core group, and then everyone else wants to go there because they know they have a good shot at winning.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So speaking of AD,
hopefully it doesn't happen.
And speaking of the Lakers,
a
fan or a viewer or a listener actually chimed in on Twitter.
I saw that.
Had some choice words with me.
You went back and forth.
But we had a good back and forth. Actually, it ended up being like a very a good conversation.
Yeah.
He was sparked because I said that DeJounte Murray is better than Brandon Ingram, and I stand by that because I think that DeJounte is going to be a more crucial key piece in a franchise going forward than Brandon Ingram. We're 3 years into Brandon Ingram, and the same criticism since day one has been, oh, if he puts on more weight. He's still 190 pounds and 6'9".
Yeah, Brandon
It's been
Ingram,
3 years. You haven't really gotten that much better. You don't know how to play off ball. You don't really have a good court vision. You can't play defense. I'm being yelled at that we only have 5 minutes left. But DeJounte, he's learned under good players.
I'm trying to make a point here.
He's learned under good players. He can play off the ball. Defensively, he was a third-team all-defense.
Yeah,
second
he
team
was
all-defense.
second-team all-defense.
There's no third team.
Yeah.
Second-team all-defense. And so, I mean, he hasn't even put on that much weight. Brandon Ingram's stats right now, 17 points a game, but that's super inflated because the last week when their best player hasn't been on weight, he hasn't led them to any wins.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Brandon Ingram, take him. Remember when they didn't want to trade Brandon Ingram to get Paul George? How's that looking now, LA?
Well, they didn't want to trade Brandon Ingram to get Kawhi. Remember? They were just like
so
not
dumb.
going to trade Brandon
and
Ingram
now
for Kawhi
we don't
Leonard.
know. I mean, Paul George could have set a precedent. So anyway, hold on. I think, let me look up this guy's name because I told him I'd give him a shout out. Appreciate you for engaging us.
Yeah.
Michael Nipper. Thank you. I appreciate you. But he sparked another question because I responded to one of his comments saying Brandon Ingram peaked in college at Duke.
Right.
Which I think he did.
I forgot he even went to Duke.
He was phenomenal in Duke.
Crazy.
He was shooting over players.
Yeah, no,
he
I
could get to
remember,
the bucket. He was like forcing his
crazy.
way. But again, if you're 6'9", 190 and not named Kevin Durant, the league isn't going to work for you.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This is the topic that he sparked, and I promised him that I would bring it up on the show.
Okay.
Very loyal to our fans. Appreciate you.
Michael Nipper.
Can you, Michael Nipper?
Yeah.
I got you.
Shout out.
I really hope I'm saying your name right. Here's the question. Can you peak in college? Because his argument was you can't. But then, I mean, right now, just off the top of my head, Markelle Fultz. Finicky situation, but at the same time, we're going to look back.
Can you peak in college? Wow.
I love the
do
Sixers,
guys even
but
stay in college now?
I look back at those Washington highlights and I'm like, those are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas Robinson
he was
of
great.
Kansas.
Yeah. I mean,
Nick Stauskas, who just got traded to the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a slew of guys.
Well, even a guy that the Spurs just played
Anthony
the other
Bennett.
day. Anthony Bennett. That's an all-time bust right there.
But peaked in college.
Even a guy that the Spurs were, just played, Jahlil Okafor, who I'm sure you know about a little bit with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Didn't really reach the
here's the thing.
status that
The
I thought
argument
many people
with that
thought he
is-
was going to reach.
The argument with that is he's always been fine offensively.
Yeah.
But he was terrible on defense. He
Yeah.
was getting schooled on the low post by Frank Kaminsky in the Final Four game. I'm looking at that. I'm like, Frank Kaminsky was a player of the year. He was a great player. But in no way, shape, or form should he take you over under the bucket.
Well, never did I think Frank Kaminsky would come up in the podcast.
I was watching that. I was like, that is ridiculous.
Those guys, obviously, the college game completely different from the NBA game. NBA is a very specialized type of game where you have guys that come in for specific roles. That's sometimes hard for guys that were stars That's sometimes hard for guys that were stars in college to kind of comprehend in the NBA because you have an established hierarchy already of stars.
So the question is, can you peak in college?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you
I
can
agree.
peak in
I really
college.
wanted you to take the other way because I was just going to go off. Also, he had a dumb comment. Sorry, Michael Nipper, if you're still listening. His comment was Thomas Robinson, another guy. He actually had two in his tweets. Thomas Robinson, a guy drafted number 2 overall.
Yeah.
He said that they drafted him to be a role player. And you don't draft someone number 2 overall to be a role player.
Yeah.
Second of all, he said Nick Stauskas, still a stud. Studs don't get traded 5 times.
What? Yeah, I love that you got into this Twitter argument.
It was a good, but shout out Michael Nipper because we kept going back and forth, and it was a good conversation. It started a little animosity at first, but I think we leveled it out. It started being an educated conversation. Anyway, Andrew, I've been waiting for Andrew to hold that 30-minute sign up. So we're at 30 minutes, so we're going to get 2 more minutes, Andrew. Give us the snooze button.
Zoom it in.
Football, Super Bowl. Give me 3 hot takes off your head.
3 hot takes.
Or 3 observations.
Rams might not be back. Todd Gurley, I think, was hurt. We may find out later on what was going on there. Sean McVay, definitely a lot of shine taken off once Belichick kind of schemed against him.
Okay. Here are mine 3. If you would have told me the Rams held the Patriots to only 13 points, I would have said they won.
Yeah.
No, not going to use that one. Let's see this. What was that?
It is Tim Kelly to be Texans offensive coordinator.
Oh, there you go. Breaking news on the pod.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you would have told me the Rams held the Patriots 13 points, I would have said absolutely.
Right.
Brady is the GOAT,
Yeah.
but I don't think you should use this game as an example of that.
I think his GOAT status was established when they came back against the Falcons.
I agree.
That was the one that.
Third one that I use all the time,
Yeah.
and that I'm even going to say, I even said it with the Chiefs. Every time you have a young team, which, I mean, you on the offensive side of the ball, yes, you have a young team. On the defensive side, really not that young.
Yeah.
So every time you have a young team, you use the cliche, oh, we'll be back, our future is bright.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's hard.
That's what every team that's ever lost anything has ever said.
Yeah.
You know what? Remember when Oklahoma City, they had Kevin Durant, Harden, and Westbrook. 3 MVPs. Oh, we'll be back. We're going to be the team of the decade.
Yeah.
They didn't go back, did they?
I thought so. And, when they made that run, they beat the Spurs in those Western Conference Finals.
Players don't realize, players and coaches don't realize,
it is hard.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
You got to go through, and I almost feel bad for the Chargers. I feel bad for Phillip Rivers because he's probably going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks ever to never win a ring.
Yeah.
Him and Dan Marino.
We will see. Yeah.
Okay, so staying with football, Andrew, how much time over are we? We already hit 2 minutes? All right, 1 more minute.
All right.
Commanders. Football is not over, San Antonio.
Getting ready to go.
We got the Commanders starting this weekend. I'm very excited. I've been following it. You've been following it a lot.
Yep.
I've been in talks with Cody. Ideally, we can do an on-the-field pod with a guest of the Commanders. He was telling me maybe a quarterback, maybe a wide receiver, maybe a defensive captain.
Okay. That should be
ideally tomorrow or Thursday. So that would be ideal. But yeah, first game is this weekend. Shout out Good Morning San Antonio because I think Friday we're going to run with everything. Ideally, we just have like a very casual toss and just kind of talk about it. Because these guys really do have interesting paths getting to San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the one thing I've noticed about the Commanders, and a lot of people when this kind of came up about San Antonio getting another team, this is legit, people. I mean, if you get the press releases, you get them from Cody, right?
I get them from Cody.
You get them. It is legit. This is being run as a professional franchise. Everything they have done from the bottom up has been legitimate. They have some really smart NFL minds running this.
Are you about to leave KSAT and be their spokesperson?
No, I'm just
Cody,
saying. I have been impressed, man, by just the legitimacy of everything.
Well, they have to. Yeah, I mean, look at the several minor league teams that have come through San Antonio and failed.
But I think that's the perception that the San Antonio public has is that, oh, here's another fledgling, failed friend, thing that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're playing good football. People are telling me that they've seen them practice. They look good. Everything looks good about it. There's some San Antonio kids that are on rosters. Locally, Aaron Green, former Madison running back, is on the roster. Dustin Vaughn, who was on the Cowboys, I think he was on their team for a while. Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, there's definitely some Josh Stewart played at UTSA, wide receiver. So there's definitely some talent there, some guys that are really putting in a lot of work. Maybe I should apply for
Right? I think you got it.
Cody, I'm not, man. Cody's doing an awesome job. No, Cody's doing a great job.
So
I'm excited to
the
see
game?
about this. I cannot go to the game. After all that being said, I cannot go.
What?
Because,
It's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. What else are
yeah,
you doing?
I'm actually moving. So that's,
You know what? I think I'm going to go to the game.
Go
Tickets
for it,
are
man.
actually really
Yeah.
inexpensive, which
Yeah.
is nice. Hopefully they're not sold out by the time I go.
I think we should be a great crowd, man.
You know what? If you can't go, give me the camera. I'll go sideline. I got this.
Hey, man, you do what you got to
All
do.
right, anything you
bro.
want to plug before Andrew makes us leave?
No, just follow at KSAT RJ. Of course, Spurs are on the road, so I'm going to be hanging out here quite often, and we're going to be talking Commanders, man. I'm pretty interested.
Very exciting. All right. Max Massey TV, follow on Twitter. Andrew, anything when you plug? No? You're working on a few
Follow
things.
Andrew on
Follow
Instagram.
Andrew.
This guy does
Andrew
amazing
Wilson.
work. Yeah, A. Wilson. Is that what? No, okay, it's not A. Wilson. But
Wow,
no, if you follow
really
us on
butchered that
Instagram,
one.
Andrew does
You
some
can't be
amazing
Andrew's
stuff.
spokesperson.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. And that's all we got for today.
Later, y'all.